Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this webinar where we will try to understand about Tableau. Okay, what is Tableau and what is its purpose? How does it help us? So here, the agenda of today's discussion is to understand what is data visualization? Why do we need Tableau? How does it fit into the place? What is Tableau? How do we install it? Understanding the features, the user interface. We'll also very quickly create a few charts and learn about a few features and functionalities of Tableau. Okay. And what is the path that we follow at Edureka for Tableau? It is a program which consists of 12 modules in total. We begin with data preparation using Tableau Prep Builder, a tool used to prepare the data for analysis. Then we look at data connections using Tableau Desktop. Then we look at basic visual analytics, where you will learn how to create some basic charts, and you will also learn certain concepts like how to sort the data, how to filter the data, such things. Then we have calculations in Tableau, post which we will be looking at advanced visual analytics, looking at the analytical capabilities of the tool like prediction, forecasting, clustering, so on. Then you will be looking at level of detail expressions, which is also a part of calculations itself. Then there is geographical visualizations, everything related to geographical maps, advanced charts, then dashboards and stories, and finally, one industry-grade project that we will work upon. Now, it doesn't end there. This is the 10th module. Then we have 11th module, where we focus on Tableau Online. And 12th module has a small project that we will be working upon together in the class. Okay, so this is how the course is structured. Now, why do we need business intelligence? Forget business intelligence. Why do we need intelligence? And what is intelligence, right? See, throughout our life, since our childhood, we are taught a lot of things by many people, and we even go to educational institutions like schools, colleges, and learn a lot of things. We gain a lot of knowledge. So whatever knowledge we have gained through different media, right, through eyes by watching things, through our ears by listening to things, smell, touch, whatever it might be, when we apply this knowledge for the betterment, right, to apply whatever information we have gathered, whatever data we have gathered, whatever knowledge we have acquired, when we apply it in such a way that it improves our lives and the lives of people living with us, our surrounding and our environment, we say that it is an intelligent application of the knowledge, isn't it? So when you take all the technical skills that you have learned and when you apply it on a business, then that is basically business intelligence. If taking everything and applying it to a business so that you boost the productivity to gain, monetary benefits, to be able to reach the target, that is business intelligence. And Tableau is one of the very popular tools that are there under the platform of business intelligence. Tableau and Power BI, both of them are. Data, then why do we need data visualization? Because these tools primarily take huge amounts of data and they convert them into graphics. Graphics which are easy to understand and interpret. Why do we need this? Because picture speaks 1,000 words. I think as simple as that. When you represent something in a graphical format, people tend to remember it for a longer duration of time. People can understand it better, so on and so forth. Now look at this quartet. This is called Anscombe's quartet, which is basically 4 data sets in tabular format. So X and Y coordinates are given. And when you look at the basic summary statistics, like summation of the data in column X and Y, average of the data in column X and Y. Okay, something called as standard deviation of the data in column X and Y. You can see that the summary statistics are the same for all the data sources, but they are all not the same. Different sets of data with same summary statistics. Because when these were presented in a graphical format, That is when people first realized the power of data visualization, because each data set had a different story to tell. You can see data points going in a kind of an upward direction. This is a curvy linear pattern. Here it is perfectly linear with one outlier, odd man out. One outlier, which is little bit throwing off, shifting the overall direction. Here, all the x coordinates are 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, except for one outlier. So instead of being a vertical line, because of this one outlier, it got thrown off like this. Each of these graphs have their own significance. Each of them is telling a different story about the data that we are looking at. So just because the descriptive statistics or the summary statistics are the same, we can't conclude that the data is the same. Data is completely different here. So that is when people realized the importance of data visualization. Okay, scope of visual analytics, it is pretty seamless. It is basically for better financial performance, better customer relationship that we can establish when we know the customer's behavior and their purchasing pattern, better decision making, okay, better sense of risk, better key strategic initiatives that we can take up. So data visualization is all about gathering data from different data sources, analyzing that data, and presenting your analysis in a visual format, presenting your analysis in a graphical format. Okay. Why do we need Tableau? Because it is one of the market leaders when it comes to creating interactive visuals. It is an intuitive platform and it is very, very easy to learn and very easy to create the charts using Tableau. It is a software company which designed this tool called as Tableau, and now it has been acquired by Salesforce quite some time back, maybe 2-3 years now. Tableau is now a Salesforce company. It was acquired by Salesforce. A brief overview into the architecture of Tableau. See, so input, we take the data from different data sources. Let's call this input. Okay, we're taking the data from different data sources and we process that data here, process that information by creating different types of charts using that data. And then after you have created the reports, the output part. Output means what? Where you're sending all those reports to others for consumption. So you can send it to individual users, you can send it to a large group of audience by uploading those reports onto the server. Okay, so we take data from different data sources, we process that data and create charts, and whatever charts are created can either be published onto the server, this part here is Tableau server, or they can be sent out individually to various users. Okay, that is the purpose of Tableau, to take data, create reports and share it with the stakeholders. Now, from within Tableau, we can connect to multiple file formats and data from multiple servers, not just simple files. You can connect to data from multiple servers. So suppose you have to connect to an Excel file. Okay, then you just need to choose Microsoft Excel option and then select the Excel file. Immediately, we are brought into this page in Tableau where we can see the name of the connection. We can see the list of worksheets present in that particular connection. And by dragging and dropping the sheets over here, we can use the data present in those sheets. Okay. Now, there are different data types that Tableau recognizes. It recognizes Boolean data, a field that might contain true or false values, dates, short date, long date, everything it recognizes, date along with timestamp. Okay. String data, alphabetical and alphanumerical data, decimals, whole numbers, and also geographical data. After we are, connected to a data source, when we come to the worksheet, the basic workspace, okay, this area is called as the canvas. The place where we see the charts take a shape is called as the canvas. We have the menu bar, then we have the toolbar. This is called as the data pane, where you can see the fields segregated into dimensions and into measures. We'll talk about them. Then you have certain shelves like columns and rows. There is something called as a marks card, which can be used to work with the color of the visualization, size of the data points, label them, okay, customize the tooltip, etc. So once you connect to the data source, the fields from the connection are divided into dimensions and measures. So what is a dimension and what is a measure? Dimension is basically categorical data. Okay, and measures are mostly numerical values on which you can perform any sort of mathematical operations. Okay, and when you perform some sort of mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, calculating the average, calculating the median, standard deviation, variance, whatever sort of mathematical operations you perform, you will always get a meaningful result. So mostly numerical values, which can be used in mathematical operations, go under measures pane. And rest of the data, like who is the customer, what did they purchase, when did they purchase, categorical data, that all goes into the dimensions pane. There is something called as Show Me panel, which is available, which in Tableau's own terms is called, the crown jewel of Tableau. It's a very important tool. It's like your best friend, it will help you decide which chart to create. And even if you don't know how to create that chart, just with a few mouse clicks, selecting the fields and choosing a graph here, you can create the desired chart. Very easily, we can create charts using the Show Me panel. I'll give you a demonstration of that. So a variety of visualizations can be created using Tableau in a very, very easy way. Bar graphs, line graphs, combination of bar and line graph, so on and so forth. Let me take you to Tableau and show you. First, I will show you the connection, and then we will see how to create some charts very quickly. So if you would want to install Tableau, go to tableau.com, which is the official website of Tableau. And from there, you can download a tool that is called as Tableau Public. It is a free software. Anybody can download it and install it, and you can use it for free forever. If you go to this link, of course, you will be prompted to fill in a form, okay? You have to fill a form where you will have to give your first name, last name, and your personal email ID will work, okay? Your personal email ID. And once you've done that, you will be able to download the tool and install it. It's a very simple installation wizard. You just click on accept the terms and conditions, next, and install, okay? Now, what I am showing you is Tableau Desktop, the professional edition, which is the licensed version, not the free one. So here, I will select Microsoft Excel and then simply choose the data source to which I would like to make a connection here. Okay, I would like to use data coming from Microsoft Excel Sample Superstore. Once I do that and click on Open, you will notice how we are connected to Superstore, which is an Excel file, and we can see the list of worksheets present in it. All I need to do is drag and drop the sheet here. So once I drag and drop orders here, you can notice that Tableau basically gives us a preview of the data on the data grid. Now we will proceed to the worksheet. Okay, now we're going to simply proceed to the worksheet and look at the canvas, the data pane, fields segregated into dimensions and measures, so on and so forth. So most of the things are in Tableau are drag and drop. You just need to drag and drop. Okay, I brought category and subcategory. I'm interested in looking at the profit. Job done. Look at that. Bar graph, as simple as that. So I've created a bar graph, which is used for comparison, to compare the performance of members against each other. Now, when you have time series data, when you have data for over a period of time, then you might want to create a line chart. Line chart is for time series data, and you can notice how Tableau automatically created a line chart. Okay. Suppose you don't know how to create it. You can just choose the necessary fields and go to the Show Me panel and click on the chart that is recommended. This is Tableau's recommendation outlined in red color. Once I click on it, chart is created. It is that simple to create a chart. Now, what if I want some dual axis chart? Means what? let's say for different subcategories, I would like to check the sales, and I would also want to check the profit, and I want to compare them. Then we can merge both of them into one graph like that. Okay, so once I merge them with dual axis concept, once I merge them, you can notice how everything has become circles. Now we can go to each marks card, and this is called mark type. Okay, you can choose what mark type you might want to use. Just go there and choose the mark type. So you can have two different mark types combined together like that. This is a dual combination graph. Okay, a quick demonstration of different charts that we can create here. You can even change the color. Suppose I don't want orange bars. I'll click in the color shelf and choose a different color. Okay, edit colors and choose a different color. Maybe I want this color for sales, this color. Look at that. And then profit. I'll just click on color, edit the colors. I want a red colored line for profit. Look at that. Okay, we can edit the colors to match what is given. So next, geographical map. And then area graph with dual axis. Okay. So if you have geographical data, which is indicated with a globe icon against the field, when you take geographic fields to the detail shelf, Tableau will automatically recognize them as geographical values, and it will create a geographical map. It is that simple again. Or if you're not sure what to do, just select the fields and open the Show Me panel and select the chart. Whatever chart you might want, you can create something like this or like this. Anything is fine. So that is basically how you create a map. Let's see an area chart across different months. Okay, across different months, we're going to look at the sales and we're going to look at the profit. So we have a sales line and we have a profit line. Now we can merge it with dual axis. Two lines. You can even go ahead and change the mark type to area. Look at that. Okay, we better synchronize the axis, then we get a better clarity. Look at that. Synchronize axis meaning it will make sure that the range of values on either axis are one and the same. We have the same range of values on both sides. So you can see what is the profit and you can see what is the profit like. Sales is in light blue, profit is in red. See, I had changed the color here, right? So the same color is getting carried on whenever we use profit and sales. You might feel that it is very light. You can just increase the opacity. It becomes dark. So this is basically an area chart. This is called a heat map. Heat map is like a text table where you arrange everything into rows and columns, and the information is conveyed like this through color. Without putting the actual values, you're conveying the information, let's say, through color, like through the temperature of the map, through the temperature of the map, that kind of a thing. So I'll just replicate the heat map and show you. For various segments across different categories and different subcategories, we are looking at the profit information. So profit went into the color shell. This is basically a heat map. So wherever I see blue color, or we can even change the colors, let's go with red and green diverging. So wherever you're seeing red or dark shades of red, it means very bad loss is coming from there. And wherever we're seeing green, okay, it means very high profits are coming from there. Lighter shades of green meaning lesser profit. So through the color intensity, we are basically conveying the information here. That is the purpose of a heat map. You could use any color scale, okay? Next is a tree map. When we have hierarchical data, tree maps come in handy. So suppose there are different regions, and across different regions, I would like to check the sales. Okay, this is a tree map, this one. I will color it by region. Okay, so the size of the block is indicating the sales. West region with a very big block is making the highest sales, then east, then central, and the least sales is from south. Now, each region contains multiple states. So if I take state in there, you can see how each block is divided into sub-blocks, showing the performance of each state. So West region, I know that in California, the performance is very good. From East region, I know that from New York, the profit is very good. We can even take state to label. Look at that. Further, if I want to granularize, I could do that. I'll bring city to label. Within California, this whole block which corresponds to California, we can see the performance of various cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, so on and so forth. Within Washington, okay, you can see the performance of different cities, so on and so forth. So this block corresponds to Arizona. This block corresponds to Oregon. This block corresponds to Colorado, so on and so forth. Within that, you can see the performance of different cities. So this kind of branching out of the data comes out beautifully when you create a tree map. Okay? When you create a tree map, it comes like that, branching out of the data. So bar graphs are used when you have to perform comparison. Line graphs when you have time series data and would like to check the trend. Dual axis when you're trying to compare two measures performance against each other. When you have geographical data, then that map. Okay, again, whatever dual axis it might be, a regular one or area, it is for comparison between two measures. Heat map is to visualize the variations across categories, and tree map is when you have to show branching out of the hierarchical data. Okay. So let's look at some functions of Tableau. What can it do? From Tableau, you can perform joins and you can also perform union. Suppose your data is coming from multiple tables which need to be combined. All the columns from both the tables should come together, resulting in a big table with all the columns put together. Then we perform a join. For instance, over here, I have orders, which has 21 fields. And I have people, which I can just drop here, and Tableau will automatically join it. We have 2 columns in people, which are combined with 21 columns of orders. So people came and got appended here. Okay. Suppose I want to bring returns also. Then you see here, returns, people, orders, in total 25 columns. The number of rows will depend on the type of join that you apply. You can even change the join operator. Very interesting feature. Combining data from multiple columns and joining them to perform some sort of analysis on the data. Okay. Not just this. Suppose you have a scenario where the data is simply spread across multiple files. Okay, it is the same data, same structure. It is just stored across multiple sheets or multiple tables. And if you would want to append the data, like 2011 transactions are there, and I simply need to append 2012 there, union. You can perform a union. The number of rows will increase. Append 2013. Look at that. So we can perform join, combining the columns, and the table gets extended horizontally, or we can perform union, where data from 2 tables are appended together like this. It gets extended vertically. Depending on the scenario, depending on the business requirement, you can choose what to do. Whether joining the data would be the right thing, or whether performing a union on that data would be the correct thing to do. Apart from joins and unions, there are other things like establishing relationships between the data sources. Something called as data blending, which will work at aggregate level. After you have aggregated the data, you can perform data blending. So these are all capabilities which Tableau has with respect to manipulating the data. Because data could be coming from multiple tables, from multiple data connections. You may have to combine it. So for combining, we have various options. be it joins or unions or relationships or data blending, cross-database connectivity. It has a lot of capabilities. Okay, it's pretty extensive when it comes to working with data. Next, we will look at some features, okay, which is like sorting. Can we sort the data? We can do that. So for example, I have category and I will take subcategory also. And let's say I'm looking at the sales information. Okay, and I will color this by category. Now look at the sequence. You have data for different subcategories under furniture, members under office supplies, members under technology. But they are being arranged here in alphabetical order, isn't it? They are arranged in alphabetical order. What if you might want to rearrange them in a different sequence? So you just have to click on this sort button on the toolbar. Data gets sorted in descending order. If you click on this one, it is sorted in ascending order, the opposite. So sorting the data is as simple as one click on the toolbar. Nothing much, just one click on the toolbar. Then there is one concept called as creating a set, which is again a very interesting feature, because set will help you to define conditions, and members which meet the condition that you define will be kept in the set. And members which do not meet the conditions or the criteria that you define, they will be taken out of the set. So there's a concept of keeping the data in the set and the concept of taking the data out of the set, in and out. Okay. So for example, here, for various months across different ship modes, we are looking at, I think, profit here. Okay. Yeah, ascending and descending is based on data. You can see the longest bar, which is making the highest sales at the top of the list, isn't it? So this is based on the sales values that these members are getting rearranged. It is by data. So the chart is like this. For set, the chart is we have year and we have month. We have year 2012, 13, 14, and we have months listed out. First class, same day, second class. This is the shipment mode. Okay. And so we'll be looking at the profit here. And it's a dot circle plot. So you can see circles indicating the profit. Okay, something like this. Now, we would have offered some sort of a discount, isn't it? So discount I will take to the detailed shelf or tooltip. Just show you all what is the average discount being offered. So over here, let me even format it to represent it as a percentage, okay? Without any decimals. All right, now look at this. So on an average, what is the discount offered? Average discount is what I'm showing, but our requirement is we are going to create a set where the discount is greater than 10%. Okay. So I'm going to create a set I want the members where the discount offered is greater than 10%. Okay, so I'll give 0.1. Now, of course, I could have renamed it. Now, if I take it into the color shelf, it is getting segregated, you see, where we have given an average discount of less than 10% and where we have given more than 10%. So wherever the discount is less than 10%, it is in the set. Okay, this is at row level. Okay, this is at row level. So what did I say? Just a moment, please. Discount should be less than 10%, no? Greater than 10%. Sorry, greater than 10%. So wherever we have given a discount of greater than 10%. So you can see discount greater than 10%. and then less than 10%. You can see a gray colored circle that has come out. Okay, so wherever it is available, you can see the data point. Wherever we have not offered less than 10%, it is not there. Greater than 10% is in the set. Okay, discount not greater than 10% is out of the set. So that is what the chart is indicating. Right, so we can create sets based on any condition, and members which meet the conditions that we specify will be in the set. Members which do not meet the conditions specified will be taken out of the set. So set is very dynamic. It is based on conditions. It keeps checking the condition. At any given point of time, members which meet the condition will be in, and members which do not meet the conditions will be out. They will be taken out. Okay. Then there is something called as forecasting that we can do. So for example, now what is forecasting? Forecasting is where you look at the old information, you look at historical data that has been gathered for over a period of time, and using that data, when you decide or when you try to estimate what the future values will be like. So when we look at the historical data and try to estimate what the future values are going to be like, that is called as forecasting. And Tableau has an inbuilt capability to perform forecasting on the data. For example, let's say I'm looking at the sales across different months, and I would like to forecast for the next few months. All I need to do is go to the analytics pane and drag the forecast indicator, drag this forecast into the chart. Once I leave it there, it will perform the forecasting and it will show me the estimated output. You can see actual data in dark blue and estimate in light blue. We can even further go ahead and change the forecast options. Decide what should be the forecast length, meaning how far into the future are we trying to go. Okay. And certain things like whether or not we might want to ignore some data points, how we would want the data to be aggregated. Okay. What kind of forecast model that we might want to use or apply. It is exponential smoothing that it uses. Okay. Something called as prediction interval that we can set. So based on these settings, accordingly, the forecast will get updated. Now, after you have performed the forecasting and you have the estimated values coming up in light blue, what if you might want to share these numbers with your client? You can do that. Just right click on the sheet and there's an option called as duplicate as cross tab. So the data that we obtained in this graph and whatever forecast result Tableau generated, it gets saved as a separate worksheet. You look at that. So estimated values, the lower prediction interval, upper prediction interval, and what is our estimate. So we are saying this is what we estimate the sales will be like, but it can fluctuate anywhere in this range. It could be from 21 to 59,000, most likely to be 40. So we are telling what is the lower bound, what is the upper bound, and what is the value that we expect it to be. So it's going to fall between the lower and the upper bound, most likely to be this number. Okay, so that is forecasting. Most of the things, as you might be noticing already, they are drag and drop. All the features are there. You just need to know from where to access that feature, what to drag and where to drop it. Drag and drop, finish. And the charts start taking a shape. And features also, the inbuilt advanced capabilities also can be utilized by simple drag and drop. Like for forecasting, all I did was I dragged forecast and dropped it there. Okay. There is one more thing that we're going to see, how to create a text table and highlight the data like that. So if you look at this, it's showing the discount and sales for various subcategories. And what's the color indicating? Profit. How do I know? Because I'm actually looking here. I'm looking at the color shelf and the color icon and the field corresponding to it. So this graph is indicating sales and discount, but it is colored by profit, indicating sales and discount. So how do we create such a chart? This is basically a highlight table. Okay. So for various subcategories, we are looking at sales, and we are looking at discount. Sales and then discount. Now we would like to color it by profit. So profit to the color shell. One small changes, mark type should be square. Look at that. Now if you're not happy with this color, you can always change the color. Let's say I also want green and gold. Okay, so like this we can create it. We have reversed the scale like this. So negatives are going green and positives are in gold. So I reversed it accordingly. Okay. There is another feature called as highlighting. Very interesting feature. We can highlight the relevant data in the graph. For example, for various subcategories, let us say we are looking at the profit and also sales. No, not for, sorry, this is by month, okay? We're looking at profit and sales across different months. Across different months. Now, this is granularized. As you can see, this is granularized by subcategory. So we have a lot of lines. We have so many different lines indicating the sales and profit. It's absolutely cluttered and it's very difficult to figure out which line corresponds to which member. Here, we can turn on a feature called as highlighter. Once you turn on highlighter, what happens is you can just hover the mouse pointer and you can see the lines relevant to the member that we, go towards. Relevant to that member. So if I just go towards chairs, you can see data corresponding to chairs is highlighted. If I go to copiers, you can see the lines corresponding to copiers or envelopes or fasteners. Relevant data gets highlighted in the graph. And the rest of the data is dimmed out. This is highlight feature. So when you have a chart with too many data points and you feel it might look cluttered or people may not be able to properly understand what we are trying to convey, we can simply do this. Okay. After creating charts, you can notice that we can have only one chart per sheet. In Tableau, there is one restriction. You can have only one graph in each sheet. If you have a bar graph here, you can't have a pie chart or a geographical map, something else over here, not possible. But we bring all of them together onto a dashboard. Okay. And on dashboard, building an interactive report is as simple as dragging and dropping things there. You just drag and drop the graphs, whichever graphs should be involved or should be kept over there, you just drag and drop them, finish. And not just that, we can get, there is something called as device designer. It will help us get a preview of our dashboard on different devices. So when I click here, see default, I can see what I can get an idea of what this dashboard will look like on a tablet. This is what it will look like on a tablet. What will it look like on a phone? You see, it is automatically customized in such a way that the graphs are arranged one below the other. So we can get a preview of our dashboard on different devices. We can see what it will look like on different devices. And make sure that it is not getting cluttered or it's not getting, charts are not getting overlapped. Information is being presented in a neat format so that everybody can understand what we are trying to convey. So device designer is a very useful feature. It helps you get a preview of your dashboard on different devices. It's basically an interactive report. Okay. So these are a few capabilities of Tableau in a nutshell. Like we can connect to different data sources. We can perform joins. We can perform unions. We can create a variety of charts and ultimately we can put them together on a report. So that is the beauty of Tableau and it's pretty easy, a very simple tool where most of the things are drag and drop. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope it was informative. All the best.